Okay, if you are in 7 Excel, we are working from the Advanced 2 textbook. If you are in Math 8, this lesson is not in your textbook, but you do have access to the pages from Big Ideas online, and the pages are linked to the agenda. So we are working in Advanced 2 textbook. We are doing lesson 13.3. Area of circles. And it can be found on pages 566 and 567. Okay, so let's talk about the nuts and bolts for today's lesson. Area. We've been working with the circumference of the circle, which is similar to the perimeter, the fence around the area. Today we're talking about the area. The area is the squares inside the circle. So this is the area. The area is the squares inside the circle. And area is two-dimensional. It has width and it has height. So it is two-dimensional. So our units are squared. And that kind of makes sense. We're talking about the squares inside the edge. Inside the edge, we're talking about these squares. It's two-dimensional. We have width and we have height. So therefore, our units are squared. Okay? Okay. The formula for the area inside the circle, area is equal to pi r squared. Area is equal to pi times the radius squared. And some things that we need to remember. Pi is equal to 22 over 7 or 3.14. And the radius is half of the diameter. Okay? So this is the nuts and bolts of today's lesson. These are the things that we need to remember. So let's put it to some use. Okay. The book has given us this figure, and they want to know what is the area of the circle. What's the area of the circle? So the first thing they want us to do is estimate. Estimate the area of this circle. Well, we know area is equal to pi r squared. And the radius, they've given us the radius. The radius is 7 centimeters. Okay, that's nice. Now to estimate, when we estimate, I'm going to estimate pi to be about 3. 3 is easier to work with than 3.14. So I'm estimating pi to be 3. My radius is 7 squared. So we have 3, 7 times 7 is 49. And I'm going to estimate this 49. I'm going to round it to 50 because 50 is easier to work with. I can do it in my head. So 3 times 50 is 150 centimeters squared. So this is my estimate. The area in this circle is about 150 centimeters squared. Now let's do the actual. Area is equal to pi times the radius squared. Okay? So pi, we're going to use actual pi, 3.14. and the radius is going to be 7 squared. Now, according to the order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the exponents, we do exponents before we multiply. So I always like to put my exponent inside the parentheses to remind me to do that first. Because according to the order of operations, please excuse exponents comes before multiplication. So that's just a reminder that the exponents come before multiplication. So 7 times 7 is 49. And I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator. And 3.14 times 49 is 153.86 centimeters squared. So our actual is pretty close to our estimate. So the area, the inside, the area of this circle is 153.86 centimeters squared. Okay, nothing too tricky. So let's do another one. Now in this case, they've given us a circle with a diameter of 26 inches. Okay, diameter, when we're trying to figure out area, I don't really need the diameter. I need the radius. The radius is half of the diameter. So my radius is 13 inches. I'm going to be using the radius. So let's estimate. Let's estimate the area of this circle. So area is equal to pi r squared. And when we're estimating, we're going to estimate pi to be 3. It's easier to work with than 3.14. I can do it in my head. The radius is 13 squared. Now, 3. I know that 13 times 13 is 169. Because when I was a kid, math facts went through 15. So I know 13 times 13 is 169. Now, 3 times 169 is kind of hard to do in my head, but 169 is pretty darn close to 170. And I know that 3 times 170, well, we have 300 and then 210. 3 times 170 is going to be 510 inches squared. And this is an estimate. So the area of this circle is pretty close or about 510 inches squared. Now let's find the actual. So area is equal to pi times radius squared. And remember, the order of operations says we're going to square the radius before we multiply that by pi. So pi is 3.14 times 13 squared. We have 3.14. 13 times 13 is 169. And now I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator and multiply 3.14 times 169. So the area is equal to 530.66 inches squared. 530 is pretty close to 510. So the actual area inside the circumference, all this area inside the circumference, is 533.66 inches squared. So that's it basically for today, except, and I think you guys could figure this out if you had to on your own. The book is going to give you, sometimes the book's going to give you a semicircle. And they're going to tell you that this part of the semicircle is 30 feet. Now, this is a semicircle. It's half of a circle. So you've got this whole circle, but we want the area of this semicircle right here. We want the area of the semicircle.
Miss Colburn, we can't see the circle.
Thank you. So we want the semicircle. It's half of a circle. And they're telling you that this edge here is 30 feet. And that edge is the equivalent to the diameter. Well, we don't want the diameter. We want the radius. And the radius is half of the diameter. So the radius is 15 feet. So what we're looking for is the area of half of a circle. Okay, well, we can do that. So area is equal to pi r squared. We already figured out the radius is half of the diameter. Pi is 3.14. My radius is half of the diameter, 15 squared. So we have 3.14. 15 times 15 is 225. And now I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator. I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 225. And that gives me 706.5. But remember, this is the whole circle. This is the area of the whole circle. We want half of the circle. So I'm going to divide this by 2 because we want half. I'm going to divide it by 2 because we want half. So the area of the semicircle is 353.25 feet squared. So I'm pretty sure you guys could have figured that out on your own, even if we hadn't done an example of it. But it's nice to know what's coming. It's nice to know what's going to be in the lesson. So let's do one more example, since you missed half of this one while I was talking. So let's do one more example. So this time the book gives us a semicircle like this. They tell us that this is 8 meters. So when I look at this, the semicircle is actually half. We want half of the whole circle. And in this case, they're giving us the diameter. We don't want the diameter, we need the radius. And the radius is half of the diameter. So we need to remember that we are looking for half of a circle, and that area is equal to pi times the radius squared. And the order of operations says we're going to square the radius before we multiply it by pi. So we've got 3.14. The radius is 4 squared. So order of operations says we do the exponents first. 4 times 4 is 16. Now I'm going to use my calculator and I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 16. And I get 50.24. But remember, this is the area of the whole circle. This is the whole circle. We want half of the circle. I'm going to divide this by 2 because we want half. So you can use your handy dandy calculator. I think this one's pretty easy to do in your head. Half is going to be 25.12 meters squared. So the area of this semicircle is 25.12 meters squared. So that's what we're doing today. We're finding the area of circles and semicircles.